Yo guys, what is up? Welcome back to another video. I'm the Casual Racing Gamer, and today I am answering one question I get asked quite often is what wheel am I using? So I figured, let me do a video on it because it's something really that I think needs more of a discussion, but I'm going to show you what I'm using. I'm going to tell you why I'm using it, how I ended up getting it. This is for the budget-minded people. So, if you guys don't want to spend a lot of money and you don't think, you can have fun with a less expensive wheel, I'm here to tell you that you can totally have fun with a less expensive wheel in GT7 for PS5, on iRacing, on a PC, and all that good stuff. All right, guys, so let's start with the wheel first. I am using a Thrustmaster T150. It is an extremely budget-friendly force feedback wheel. Is there better? There's a lot better. There's a direct drive wheels, there's belt drive wheels, and I'll touch on that in a little bit. But this is a Thrustmaster T150, and it's supposed to use like a fusion of a belt and a gear-driven system. I think it's mostly gear-driven though with the wheel, because you do feel kind of clicking when you turn it. But it's really not bad though. I'm actually really enjoying the wheel. I've been using this wheel for now maybe like 2.5 years or something. Maybe like somewhere in 2021. I had bought this wheel actually for my son to play with NASCAR Heat 5. Sim racing and PC racing and all that wasn't even in the cards when I first bought it. But from that, I actually got into iRacing. NASCAR started doing iRacing instead of when everything went like on lockdown. So I was watching iRacing videos of NASCAR when they were actually racing for real. And I was like, wow, that looks really fun. Wonder if I can do that on my PC. And lo and behold, I was able to. So that's how I actually got into sim racing. So I had my T150, and this wheel runs about $200 maybe. I actually got it on sale at the time a couple of years ago. It was insane because things were like so expensive then and things were hard to find, and I got it on sale for like $140. So that was like a steal at that time. But I think now you can buy this wheel or maybe a newer version for about $200, $220 maybe. Now it comes with pedals that are starter pedals. It has gas and it has a brake, so accelerator and a brake, but there's no load cell in the actual pedals. So they're beginner pedals. The brake just from start to finish has no pressure. So the same pressure is from when you start it to when you push it. And the thing is that you kind of have to memorize how far to push it for how hard you actually want to brake, because you don't have that pressure. I did upgrade my pedals, and I'm going to go into that. But first, the T150 wheel, yes, it's good. Another starter wheel that a lot of people use is like the Logitech G29, or maybe there's like a newer version, maybe like the G920. At the time I bought my T150, those were priced way higher, like a couple $100, considering I got the T150 on sale. But that's another budget option is the G29 or the G920. And again, it's going to be more than a T150 right now currently. Even maybe you're going to spend maybe about $80 to $100 more for that. I think it does come with a clutch on the pedals, but again, they're not load cell pedals. So the one thing you're going to eventually want to do is at least upgrade the pedals, but I'm going to go into pedals in a little bit. So that's the wheel. I get good force feedback. I have no issues on it. Are there better wheels? 100% yes. So take that into consideration. If you want to spend more money, $500, $1,000, $1,500 to thousands, that's fine. And those wheels are going to definitely be better. But if you never use those wheels, you're not going to know what you're actually missing. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. So if you hop into a budget wheel like this, you want to make sure you have force feedback, and you're going to enjoy it. You're going to have fun. You're going to be able to be competitive even without a top tier wheel. Are you going to want to upgrade later if this is something you want to do? Sure. Do you need to spend the money today? Not necessarily. If you don't have the money, don't make it stop you from buying a wheel, because it's going to be 100 times better racing for you. I think and the experience is better racing with a wheel. Can you race good with a controller? Yeah, there's like aliens who race on controllers. I just think that takes you away from the immersion of racing in general. And then especially in VR. So I race on a Quest 2 for my PC, and I race in VR on the PS5 with PSVR2. So the immersion with that plus a wheel is to me, it's like nothing else. So you're definitely going to want a wheel. You don't know what you're missing with those more expensive wheels. It's kind of like, you drive a car that you spend $20,000 to $30,000 for, and then someone drives like an $80,000, $90,000, $100,000 car, and they're like, wow, the difference is night and day. Like, how do you drive that $30,000 car? But of course, the $100,000 car is going to be better. But if you've never driven that $100,000 car and you've never driven like that Ferrari or that Porsche, you're not going to know what you're missing. So you're happy with your $30,000 car. So that's why I'm saying you can get a budget wheel. You can be totally enjoyed, immersed in the experience. Yes, there's a lot better. Again, if you want to spend the money, that's fine. And you guys who have those direct drive wheels and everything else, leave it in the comments what you're using, what you used. Of course, we know your direct drive wheels are going to be better than your G29 that you started with, no doubt. But leave some comments down below, even if you want to leave some prices so people know, because I'm only telling you my experience of what I'm using, but a lot of you guys who are using other things can help shoppers as well in the comments. And I know a lot of people, read through comments for suggestions and things like that. So as much as I can show them what I'm using, you guys can help out everyone else watching the video as well, and help me, because I'm going to be upgrading. I'm eventually going to be upgrading, and I'll talk about where I think my next step is going to be. But let's hop into the pedals. So I did upgrade the pedals, and I think that was one of the biggest game changes, was upgrading the pedals more than the actual wheel. So I got a 3 pedal set. I don't use clutch. So the more important thing was having a load cell brake pedal. So it actually has pressure. So you actually can't go from start to the bottom where it's all the same type of pressure. You actually start pressure because there's a spring there that holds things back, and it feels more like an actual brake, and you can actually feel when you're on the limit of the brakes and when you might lock them up. So it's not just muscle memory, you get to actually feel pressure in that brake. So that I think is one of the biggest steps and upgrades. Now the TLCM pedals is what I went with. Again, budget friendly pedals that work extremely well. I think they run like $200 or $220. You can hook them up to any Thrustmaster wheel, and they are good to go. They hook directly into it, so you can use it with your Thrustmaster wheel on the PS5 or on PC. Now, if you are using PC, you can use these pedals with other wheels like a Logitech or other companies, but you have to hook it into a direct USB into your PC. It doesn't hook into the wheel. So, but you can use it on a PC with other companies. With a PS5, you can't. On a PS5, you have to hook it directly in to a Thrustmaster wheel. I don't believe you can hook it into another like USB port by itself like you can do with a PC. So just take that into consideration, because one thing you're going to want to buy if you go on budget wheel, the first thing you're probably going to want to look at is upgrading your pedal set. And the TLCM pedals by Thrustmaster, I can't recommend them enough at the price. I think they're actually a steal. They're a bargain. And when I actually saw that I can actually pick something up at that low price for load cell pedals, like I hopped right onto it. So that to me was one of the biggest upgrades for my racing experience. Now going into, you're definitely going to want a stand. Do you have to get a stand? No, you can hook it up to, you can hook up your wheel to a desk. You can spin it on there. You can make sure your pedals are pushed up against the wall. They will move if they're not on a stand. So you want something, that's not going to let them just slide through. So if you can push it up against the wall, put it on a desk, lock your wheel onto a desk, you'll be able to drive like that. Now the stand, you can get a stand like I'm using for maybe like $100, $120. Nothing fancy, nothing crazy, but it works. I'm able to put my pedal set on there. I'm able to put my wheel on there. If you want to end up going separate shifter in the future, there is a spot to actually screw that down too, but I do not use a regular a side shifter, a shifter like that. I just use my paddle wheels, and I am good to go with that. So let's talk my next step with a wheel from where I'm going to go with the T150. I'm looking at a Thrustmaster T300. I think for the price and for the features that it offers, it's a belt driven. It's not direct drive, and that might be my next step up from here without spending too much money. Would I like to go direct drive? Sure. And I'm still open-minded to it. I'm going to see, how much I want to spend, what's in my budget, and then, weigh the options. I'm going to want to use my Thrustmaster pedals, especially with GT7. So I want to make sure that my Thrustmaster pedals, the TLCM pedals, will work with whatever wheel I go with. So that's going to be something in consideration. So then I don't have to buy a new pedal set and wheels. Now, of course, no matter what wheel I go with, I'll be able to use it on my computer with iRacing and stuff. But I also want to make sure I'm compatible with PlayStation 5 and GT7, because I am having such a ball playing GT7 in PSVR2. And, I don't see myself putting that one away anytime soon. So I want to make sure that everything works with everything. So a T300 I know is going to work with everything. And the price of that's not going to be extremely crazy out of reach. But again, direct drive, there's a Monzo like R5 that runs at like maybe $500 with the wheel, which is a great deal, but not sure if I can use my pedals with that on the PS5, which that's going to be, that's going to be a stopper for me. So I'd have to spend more money, I believe, to go direct drive, but that's something I'll weigh my options when the time comes. And then let's talk about my seat. Now you can buy a stand with a seat, and if it's in your budget, and at the time I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't really have space. I didn't know where I was putting everything. So I just went with the regular straight up stand. I do have a gaming chair. Now to stop my gaming chair from rolling, I bought a couple of stoppers. They sell them on Amazon for like $10 maybe. And you just put them under your wheels. You don't slide back. It actually holds you in place really good. And then last but not least, and this is probably the most expensive thing I have in my whole setup, is if you're going to go iRacing, go with a computer, you're going to have to spend money on a PC, obviously. So my PC, when I'm running iRacing, I'm running an RTX 3080 with an i7 10th gen CPU, 32 gigs of RAM. So I am able to run iRacing great with the VR headset. Now, if you're not going to be using VR, you can get a much less expensive PC and run iRacing. iRacing does not require a lot, and there's a lot of settings in there you can completely turn off and almost run it on almost like a potato PC if you're not going to do VR. But of course, I recommend if you're going to go PC and you're going to go sim racing, you're going to want to buy a decent PC. But I used to actually run it on a laptop, an RTX 2060 laptop with the original Quest and the Quest 2 before I upgraded to my RTX 3080 desktop. So that's another thing to take into consideration if you're going to go, PC route, what kind of computer and all that stuff. And if you're going to go VR, I race 99.999% in VR. Like I said, on the Quest 2 on my PC and PSVR2 on the PlayStation 5. I think that kind of covers everything in my setup. So again, that is my budget setup. Do I recommend it? If you don't want to spend a lot of money, and not everyone can afford $1,000, $1,500 to just lay on a wheel. And I get it, guys. I get it. So that's why I am here to show you kind of probably what you are not used to seeing on YouTube. We're used to seeing like these guys with $10, $20, $30, $50,000 sim racing setups. And that is awesome and that is great, but not many of us can go spend $50,000 on a sim racing set, right? But if you have the money, definitely, budget for it. If you want to go more expensive, 100% go for it. But I'm here to tell you that you don't necessarily need to if you're just starting out. You're not sure if you're going to like it and things like that. You can always resell your wheel and your pedals or whatever else you buy on eBay or anywhere else. So you can always make some money back from it and then use it towards something better. If you have the money and you're going to like it, sure, go for that T300 wheel, go for that direct drive wheel. I'm not telling you not to. If you have the money, go for it. I'm here to tell you, if you don't have the money or you don't want to spend that much, you will have just as much fun buying something a little less expensive. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I'm definitely going to be reading all your comments down below and everything that you guys are using. So let me know your setup down below. I'm probably sure that a lot of you guys are using setups way better than mine, and that's cool. I love reading about it. So tell me about your experience with it. And of course, like I said, I'm going to be looking to upgrade my wheel hopefully sooner than later, but I've been using this thing since 2021 now, so over 2 years, and I've been happy with it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Thumb it up, subscribe if you like racing games and you like enjoying watching things like GT7 or iRacing and all other great stuff. And I do lots of that. And check out some other videos on my channel. And if you have any questions for me, leave it down in the comments below and I'll help you out. But there's a lot of guys out there that also might help you out as well, because you guys have been awesome with comments. So thank you so much for watching. We out of here. Have fun driving, guys. Peace.